Alrighty guys, welcome back. It's your host Digester. This time we're doing Title Bout 2. Title Bout 2 over there, and unfortunately, with the recent passing of George Foreman, we're going to be doing a matchup between him and Larry Holmes in their heyday, and see which one would win in Title Bout 2. So, it's kind of a great moment, but also a sad moment as well, because George was beloved by everyone. For some reason, he just had that very friendly, outgoing personality, which everyone really liked. And so, for one last time, we're going to give George Foreman the stage here in our sports sim replay with Title Bout 2. Let's get to it and see what happens, shall we? Alright, this is, of course, the dream fight matchup between George Foreman, heavyweight, who is a 9 and a slugger, and Larry Holmes, heavyweight, which is 9 and a boxer. And it is actually advantage Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes has a control factor 1 to 10. George Foreman 1 to 8. Foreman is 1 to 10 on the aggression, so he gets first check though. So we'll see, but a little bit of an advantage to Larry Holmes. Also, advantage is in the endurance. George Foreman endurance is only 80. Larry Holmes endurance is 110. So, with that said, punch landed for Foreman 1 to 28, for Larry Holmes 1 to 34. Again, seems to almost be a mismatch, but we're going to put Big George Foreman out there to see how he can do one last time against Larry Holmes. Which is better, Title Bout 2 or Glory Days Boxing Club? That's a discussion for another day, my friend. Let's get to it and see what happens. So, 1, a control factor, so it stays with Foreman. And possible foul, but he says, keep it clean, boys, keep it clean, and we move on. Stays in control factor. 34 is going to be a miss punch by Big George Foreman. This time it's going to go over to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes lands a 63, which is a clinch. So the big guys are just clinching and grabbing right now. Larry Holmes stays in control. 25 is going to land the first punch. It's a 2-point uppercut by Big Larry Holmes. The Easton Assassin stays in control, and a special result, which is nothing occurs. Just a break in the action for you guys. And now we have a control check that goes back to George Foreman. 12, he's going to land his first punch of the match. It's a 3-point cross. And he'll stay in control, and this time he's going to clinch with Larry Holmes. And now it is going to be control check, back and forth we go. Where George Foreman gets it, and from ring movement, they're going to stay in the center of the ring, and it's going to go over to the Easton Assassin, Larry Holmes. 23 is going to land a punch. It's a 2-point jab. So far, 4-3 with 52 seconds to go in round 1. George Foreman has a chance to steal this round here with an 80. It's just going to be ring movement. He's going to put Larry Holmes in the near ropes. Stays in control. And he does get a punch off at the buzzer. And no, he does not get it off in time. So it's just simply going to be a 4-3. Yeah, I cannot go to the next. It won't let me flip over to the next, because I think I checked the option to end the round save you is, so we will not have any late punches landed. But that was not a very exciting round, just 4-3. George Foreman landed 1 whole punch, and Larry Holmes landed 2 punches for a total of 4 points. So, it's good to go to scoring is going to go to either player. We are in the 10 point must scoring system, I believe is what it's called. Trainer today is going to be poor for George Foreman, and the cut man is going to be average. For Larry Holmes, the trainer is going to be poor, and the cut man is going to be average. And our referee today is Wyatt Earp, the old Western gunfighter, I guess. He's very lenient with the fouls, and he's very late with the DKOs. So, on to round 2. And we start off with George Foreman, who loses control immediately to Larry Holmes. 37 is going to be a miss punch. Stays in control. A 48 is going to be a clinch. And now Foreman with the control. 69, he's going to have ring movement. Stays in control. 15, finally going to land a punch at 3-point hook. And there's no cut or swelling on this one, as he lands it right on the temple of Larry Holmes. And loses control with a 9. It has to be 8 or less. So we'll do a control check, which is going to go to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes is going to land a punch. It's going to be a 2-point combination. And there is going to be some minor swelling starting over the left eye of big George Foreman. And he will stay in control at 9. He's going to land a nice punch there, and that is a 3-point combination. Stays in control 31. He's going to land a 2-point jab. And now it's control check back to Holmes. 66 is just going to be a ring movement. And he puts Foreman in the near ropes. Foreman gets controlled, though, and he's going to clinch with Larry Holmes. Stays in control, and he's going to miss a punch. It's going to be a counter punch. Larry Holmes with the counter punch, and oh my gosh, he's going to land a huge one. And oh my gosh, it almost buckles the knees of George Foreman there. Scores 5 points. Wow, big, huge counter punch there by Larry Holmes, who shocked George Foreman with that one. It's going to be a control check, which is going to be Foreman. Foreman's going to come right back and land a huge hook himself, a 4-pointer right on the button. Both of them opening up a little bit more here in round 2. And Foreman, 46, is going to be a miss. And it's going to be a counter punch. Again, a counter punch, but this time it's wildly missed. Stays in control. 78 is going to be ring movement in the far ropes. And a 10, which would land a punch. And it's going to be a 2-point uppercut. And oh my gosh, a nice 4-pointer there at the buzzer. It's going to be a 12-11 round. And once again, just 1 point separating the two of them. Going into round 3, the round is pretty much evened up. Foreman late in that round came back. It was early. It was Larry Holmes with that one. Decided to step back in the ring today. Yes, I did, Phoenix. Yes, I did. All right, so we are going on to round 3. Ding, ding, ding. The cut man cannot reduce the minor swelling over the left eye of George Foreman, and is getting worse. Uh-oh. So the cut man is just average for both of our fighters, so that could come into play. So we're going to go right to a control check. It's going to go to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes at a 40 is going to miss a punch. I'm going to undo that because I think I clicked on the wrong button. What happened there? Let's just go with this. It's fine. All right. Control check. Stays in control. 25. Lands a punch. It's going to be a 2-point combination. No cutter swelling this time. Stays in control. And a big, huge 3-point combination by Larry Holmes. Stays in control and lands another. It's all Larry Holmes here, as George Foreman cannot get in control of the round, and Larry Holmes is landing punch after punch. It is 8-0. 34, he's going to land another 3-point uppercut. More cutting and swelling over the left eye at George Foreman. Foreman, finally, with 128 to go, is going to take control. He'll land a 3-point jab, and here comes Foreman. Unfortunately, he loses control over to Larry Holmes, who is going to try to move him in the ring. And now it's back to Foreman. Foreman's going to land a 2-point uppercut. And a 64 he's going to clinch. And it's going to be Larry Holmes, 76, ring movements. They're going to stay in the center of the ring. And Larry Holmes, 51. More clinching and grabbing. And that's going to be the end of round 3. Not a lot of big action there. Couple 3-pointers by Larry Holmes, who takes an 11-5. Our first round that was not decided by a single point. That one was decided by 6 points. Larry Holmes in that round, number 3. All right, and we will go on to round number 4. And the cut man has done a good job at reducing the minor swelling over the left eye of George Foreman. Oh, so much better there. George Foreman stays in control, lands a punch. It is a 3-point uppercut. And now a 31 is going to be a miss. And it's going to go over to Holmes. Holmes is going to land a 3-point jab. And ring movement for them. Nope, they will stay in the center of the ring. 17, he's going to land a 3-point combination. And once again, it's going to be a big punch here. Holy cow, another huge one. And it's a 5-pointer. That one almost dropped him, and he gets a 5. He gets his full killer instinct here, which is going to be 9 cards. Full killer instinct. First card is a 2, landed. And an uppercut. Oh, another big pointer. Wow, it's 15-3. 41 is going to be a miss. 53 is going to be a clinch. A 4 is going to be a big one. Yep, another 4-pointer. Wow, and Larry Holmes is teeing off on George Foreman. And he's got one more left, and that is going to land, and it's going to be another 3-pointer. It is 22-3. I think if you are 30 points or more than your opponent, it's a TKO. But we're just going to play this out. There's 42 seconds to go in round 4. And Larry Holmes is taking, George Foreman is taking a beating here from Larry Holmes. Holmes stays in control. 61 is going to be ring movements. And finally, Foreman gets in control, but a 73. All he can do is some ring movements and put him in the far ropes. Stays in control, but checks an injury here. Fortunately for George Foreman, there is no injury. But there's just 12 seconds left. And it's going to go back over for a 30, which is going to be a 2-point combination at the buzzer by Larry Holmes. And it's going to end up 23-3. That is a huge advantage for Holmes. He has now got 50 endurance left. He's got 88 endurance left. George Foreman has 30 endurance left. Larry Holmes has done 50 damage so far. And George Foreman has only done 22 damage. So we're going to round 5. That round was definitely a big one for Larry Holmes. It might even be a 10-8 round. So here we go. We're going to Foreman first, who loses control right away over to Holmes. Holmes 75 ring movement and nothing going on there. 5. Lands a 2-point jab right on the button of George Foreman. Stays in control. 10. Lands again. 3-point jab. And another 3-point uppercut. And back and forth we go. 12 is going to land another 3-point combination. No cut or swelling on that one. It's all Larry Holmes here in our tribute to George Foreman. It's Larry Holmes who's getting all of the acolytes right now, and he stays in control again. 57, and that's going to be ring movements. It's going to put him in the near ropes. Stays in control, and they're going to land a 3-point jab. It is 14-0. Finally, no, it's still going to be control for Larry Holmes. He misses his punch though. Foreman, Foreman's going to land a big one. Oh, and it's a 4-pointer. He's got to go for that knockout punch. He's got to go for that knockout punch. And it's back over to Holmes. Holmes 43, trying to be a little more careful, but it's a counter punch. 61 misses by Foreman. And we're going to have a control check over to Foreman 28. He's going to just barely land a 2-point hook. And that's going to be the end of the round. And another huge round by the Easton assassin, Larry Holmes. And I know a good friend, Al, Red Sox fan, is not going to be happy. He is a big George Foreman fan. Big George Foreman fan. So we're going to have to get have a talking with George Foreman here. We're 5 rounds in, and he has done very little. Only 28 damage to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes has done 64 points of damage. So 16 endurance left for Foreman going into round 6. And here we go. And it's going to go to a control check right over to Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes is going to land a 3-point cross. And Foreman, though, comes back with a 3-point combination himself. Left to right to left. Over to Larry Holmes, a 50 is going to be a clinch. Over to George Foreman. He's going to try and move him out of the center of the ring, but Larry Holmes refuses to move. Larry Holmes in control. 56 is going to be ring movement. Nothing going on there. Stays in control. 79 more ring movement. He's going to put him in the far ropes. Stays in control. And at 11, he's going to land a 3-point cross. He's got a Foreman on the ropes. He lands another punch, and this time they move back. Foreman moves him back to the center of the ring. Stays in control. Ring movement. And we got some more ring movement, but they stay in the center of the ring. The Easton assassin. Oh my gosh, he lands another big one. And stays in control. 41 is going to be a missed punch as he swings wildly over the head. Finally, Foreman with just 12 seconds to go is... he's going to land a big one at the buzzer. Oh my gosh. And that's going to rock Larry Holmes, but he does get one card draw of the Killer Instinct, it looks like. I think that goes away when we go to the next round. I believe that will go away. So he doesn't get the Killer Instinct. A huge punch at the end of the round by Foreman. Holmes walks back, a little blood coming out of the nose of Larry Holmes. He looks to be okay in his corner here, and we're going on to round 7. Round 7. Yeah, maybe Foreman should rethink this plan of stopping as many punches as he can with his face. Phoenix. Oh, that's funny. Well, we're going on to round 7. Let's see what happens with this when I go to the next round. Yeah, I think that will go away. So we're going to Foreman. He's got 7 endurance. So if Holmes can do at least 7 points of damage, that means Foreman will be tired and going into the next round. So he will not be tired this round, though. It's going to go right over to Larry Holmes. And, he's going to land a big one. 2-point hook. And it's going to go over to Foreman. Foreman 73, ring movement. He's going to put him in the near corner. Puts him in the near corner, but he gains control because he's in the corner. So that stays in control. And he's going to land a 10-pointer. He's got him in the corner. Oh, he lands a Roxham, a good one. He's only got 1 Killer Instinct, though. And it's a 16, which is going to land a 3-point jab. So Foreman here starting something at round 7. Can the comeback start? Stays in control. And at 11, he's going to land another 3-point cross across the chin of Larry Holmes. Stays in control. Oh, he lands another huge punch. A 4-pointer. And Holmes is looking at Foreman thinking, where's all this come from? It's 15-2. Stays in control. 35 is going to be a miss, though. Foreman swings wildly. Stays in control. 31 and another miss punch. 2 crazy punches there. Finally, a control check over to the Easton assassin, who lands himself a 3-point uppercut. Stays in control, and he's going to land another 2-point combination. 20 means a control check, and it's going to go back to Foreman. Foreman, 55, clinches here as it looks like he's running out of gas with 52 seconds to go in the round. I meant to click on ring movement there, and he does get the movement. Control factor, nope. It going over to Holmes. 24, he's going to land a 2-point jab. And he's going to stay in control. 30 is going to land another 2-point hook. And 11 is nothing, so it's going to be over to Foreman. 21, he's going to land a 3-point uppercut. Boy, they're all landing here. And the end of the round, 7, and ding, ding, ding. He doesn't get a punch off because the control factor is a 20. A huge round that time, 18-10. So Foreman actually outscored Holmes, but Foreman is now 0 endurance, which means he will be using his tired stats. But Holmes has still got 56 remaining. Is that correct? Wow. Foreman's only done 54. Yeah, because he had 110. So 54 and 56 is 110. Yeah, he's only done half of what he needs to do. But that was his biggest round. He's had a round of 3, 11, 5, 3, 6, 8, and 18. So that was definitely George Foreman's best round going into round 8. And even though it was a great round for Foreman, Larry Holmes landed a bunch of punches as well. So here we go. Control factor is going to stay 9 and 10. And we're going to start off with Foreman, round 8. And you can see the ratings have changed. And now his control factor is a 7, even worse. Ugh. So he loses control. Back and forth we go. George Foreman, 45, is going to be a clinch. He loses control over to Larry Holmes, who lands a big punch. And he's on the 3 column now. And that is going to be a minor cut over the right eye. It's going to be trickling blood down into the right eye of George Foreman. And we have a control check. Larry Holmes in control. 37 is going to land another punch. 17 is going to be a control check to Foreman. Foreman's going to get a special. Nope, nothing occurred. And Holmes, 52, is a clinch. And it's a 56 again. That's what we just had. And nothing there. Over to Foreman. Foreman lands a punch, 2-point combination, a left and a right, and a left and a right. He loses control over to Holmes. Holmes with a 40 is going to land a 3-point hook. He's going to stay in control. 19 is going to land a 3-point combination. And 39 is going to land another punch. 18 is finally going to go back to Foreman here with 27 seconds to go. 47 is going to be a counter punch, and that's going to miss. He's going to stay in control, though, but a 66 is just ring movement. With this 8 seconds to go, he's going to lose control, and that's going to do it for round 8. Not a lot going on for Foreman that time either. 2 versus 16. Holmes has been very busy. He's hit rounds of 4, 12, 11, 23, 14, 9, 10, and 16. And he's had rounds of 16 versus 2 and 23 versus 3. So those are big rounds. Rounds 4 and 8 so far. We have 4 rounds to go. Anything can happen. 54 endurance for Holmes. So unless George Foreman really starts throwing the leather, he's going to be in trouble in this one. Round 9, and the cut man did a good job of stopping the bleeding on the minor cut above the eye. So there you go. So we'll start with Foreman. He stays in control, believe it or not. 54, though, is going to be a clinch. And now it's going to go over to Holmes. Holmes, 43, is going to miss a punch. Oh, it's actually going to be a counter punch. And a counter punch is going to land. It's a 3-point cross by Foreman. And no control there. Foreman in control. 25 is going to land a punch. 2-point combination. My bad. Back over to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes, 39, is going to land a 2-point cross. And 51 is going to be a clinch. And he's going to stay in control, looking for that big punch. 2-point jab. Jab, jab. Staying in control, landing punch is 3-point uppercut. And he's got a control factor of 11 right now, so that will keep him in control. A 3-point uppercut. And stays in control. And 11 is going to be a 2-point combination. Stays in control. 61 is ring movement. Finally loses control, but Foreman can't take it, and it comes right back to Holmes. 28 is going to land a 2-point uppercut. It's 13-5 right now. Stays in control. 14 is going to land a 2-point combination. Stays in control. It's all Larry Holmes here in our tribute video to George Foreman. He's taken the thunder away. And that's going to do it for round 9, and a 50 would just be a clinch anyway. So did not matter. It is 14-5, another big round for Larry Holmes, who still has 49 endurance. George Foreman ran out of endurance back in going into round 7 or 8. So advantage to Larry Holmes, as I talked at the beginning of this episode. All right, here we go with round number 10. This is scheduled for 12. Next round, Foreman. Let's see if he can get off the schneid here. Nope. Immediately loses control over to Larry Holmes. That's not a good thing. Ring movement, and they're going to stay in the center. And a possible foul. The referee cautions the fighters. And he just keeps staying in control and just landing big punch. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. He could be down. He could be a knockout here. Ooh, here we go. It is knockout time. Here comes the knockdown. 1, 2. Oh, it's a flash knockdown. Just barely. Foreman up immediately. And he's got the full killer instinct. 49 is going to be a clinch. 23 is going to land a 2-point jab. 20 is going to land a 2-point combination. And a major cut over the left eye. Foreman has had 2 cuts on the right eye, and this is over the left eye. This is actually a 4-pointer. This could be it, because you can only have so many points. This is 3rd cut. Let's see. He's got cut points. Yeah, Foreman's got 9 cut points. This could be it. If the trainer can't get him fixed up, it might be over here. So, continuing on here. 8 is going to land another 2-point combination. Another big punch. Oh my gosh. Another 5-pointer. 16-0. Larry Holmes taking easy on him, my friend. Holy cow. George Foreman, what happened, buddy? He's going to land a big punch. Almost got his big one, and he gets a good one, 5-pointer. As Foreman rocks Holmes back. Holmes back in control, though, and just landing these punch after punch. And a ring movement this time. 17 is going to be nothing, right? No. And a possible foul again. Very lenient Wyatt Earp out there, though. Another wild punch. Foreman 74 is going to be ring movements. And that's going to be the end of round 10. Another huge one for Larry Holmes, as Foreman went down to the canvas and got up. It was a flash knockdown. They called it a flash knockdown. Just 1-2 count. But still, Foreman was down to the canvas. Got right back up. Was not stunned long. So, Larry Holmes now in control with just 2 rounds to go. We're going to need a miracle if you're a George Foreman fan. The cut man cannot stop the bleeding over the major cut over the left eye of George Foreman. Larry Holmes gets the strong closer trait. So he gets a control factor of +1. And I'm surprised we didn't get a message that this is over because I thought you could only have 8 cut points. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I thought you could only have a certain number of cut points. Maybe some of those cut points don't count because of the trainer was able to fix them. Those rules are all new, so I'm not 100% sure about those. I just basically follow what the game tells me because I figure the game knows the rules. So I'm not going to argue with it. Foreman loses control right over, and it's going to be a 2-point combination. That's a left, that's a right. Foreman, 38, is going to miss a punch. Stays in control, 74 ring movement, and loses control. He has a control factor of 6 versus 12 right now. Wow. Okay, over to Larry Holmes. 15 is going to land a 2-point cross. And Foreman will get control. Actually lands a 3-point cross. And 8, though, is not in control, unbelievably. He does get control back. A 78 is going to be ring movement. He puts him in the far ropes. And it's going to go over to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes with an 8. That is going to be a 2-point hook, which is going to be more minor cut over the right eye, which is going to add another 3 points of... And Wyatt Earp is expecting the damage on George Foreman's eyes. He is going to allow the fight to continue. He is, because he's very lenient with he's very late with the TKO. So this should be a TKO. We have 12 cut points on him now. I barely see out of his eyes. Holmes stays in control. 58 is going to be a clinch. Stays in control. 54 is another clinch. Stays in control, lands a 2-point hook. Stays in control and misses a punch. I'm sorry, that's actually a counter punch. And the referee says keep it clean. Stays in control, and a 40 is going to be another punch landed. Another cut chance. It's a good thing he didn't get another result. That would have probably been it. Stays in control, and that's going to be it for round number 11. Wow. That was another big one. 10-3 in favor of Holmes, and the cutting and swelling on Foreman's face. I don't know if they're going to allow round 12. Are they going to allow 12 or cannot stop the bleeding over the right eye and cannot stop the bleeding over the left eye, and it's getting worse. Oh my God, but they're going to let the fight go on. Here we go. And it's going to go right over to Holmes. Holmes, 42, is going to land a 2-point jab. 11 is going to stay in control. Land a 2-point jab. And more cutting and swelling. Stays in control, 41. And this is... it's getting to be brutal watching what's going on to big George Foreman. George needs to pull out all the stops. He needs a huge... He stays in control. He needs a huge... He needs a 1-punch knockout. 61 is not going to be it. George, you need a huge punch. He loses control over to Holmes. Holmes, 37, is going to land a 2-point combination. Stays in control and clinches. And Foreman, 75, not what you needed. And Foreman stays in control. 20, not what you needed. He landed a 3-point uppercut, but not... Stays in control. Nope. Referee stays in control. 16. He's going to land a 3-point cross. Loses control. Gains it back. 21. Lands a punch. 3-point combination. Foreman, the heart of a lion, trying to end this fight with, on his feet. And control. Nope. Loses control over to Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes lands a 3-point hook at the buzzer, and that is going to do it for the 12-round fight here in tribute to the passing of George Foreman a couple of days ago. And sad, sad news. one of everyone's favorite boxers and one of my favorites, of course. I put him up against Larry Holmes because I thought it would be a good, challenging fight, and I don't know, maybe it was just a little bit too much for George Foreman. Larry Holmes is going to probably win this one pretty easily. If I had to say it, 13 gut points on George Foreman, who could barely see out of any of his eyes. It was 118 to 108, 117 to 110, and 118 to 108 for the unanimous decision, Larry Holmes. That was pretty much a given, I would think. So George Foreman here had round 2. Nope. Round 2 is a split. Let's see here. Round 7. He had round 7 was his one round he won. And that was it. Round 7 was the highlight for George Foreman fans. Unfortunately. But there you go. We're going to save the stats. George Foreman is now 1-1. And Larry Holmes is 2-0 in our replay here. Larry Holmes is undefeated. George Foreman drops to 1-1. All right. Well, thanks everyone for coming out. I do appreciate it. We will return to the main screen. There we go. All right. That is some Title Bout 2. If you want to see some more Title Bout 2, I'm going to show you something here real quick. If you head over to Phoenix Knight's channel and you go to his playlist, his posts, you can vote on which project he is going to be doing his summer sports project. He's got the 1971 baseball season, the 1972 football season, the 2009-2010 hockey season, or the heavyweight tournament from boxing from Title Bout 2. So if you're interested in any of those, head over to Phoenix Knight's channel, click on the post, and please vote. Vote away. Vote away. All right. In the meantime, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. We will see you all soon, my friends. Until then, take care, have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Peace and R.I.P. George Foreman.